Good morning. Good morning. Welcome to another wonderful week. Wonderful week. All right. So today is Monday, and just think I should just give this out before we start the work for the week properly. So now, in our last video, in our last post, uh, we discussed about some if function and with an example. But this morning and for this week, we'll be looking at very vital function that is, let me say, very paramount to financial modeling because it is used to for our modeling structure. Like modeling structure, how can we structure our model? So how can we present our model? You have a scenario, you have a client, you have any questionnaire or something, and you just have all the questions. How can we start? Because without this, we can't even start inputting anything. So these are the things that will guide us through in terms of calculating our our payment due date, like end of month reporting and other related calculations. So now this particular function is called EOMONTH. EOMONTH. We're looking at EOMONTH. We're looking at year function and we're looking at day function. Now this day function, we all know that in financial modeling, we financial modeling deal with timing, like times, either historical or forecasted year. Now maybe you want to forecast for 5 years and with its historical data. You know, some modelists are like a startup, so you don't really need historical data. But why the existing company need historical data with the forecasted year? So we'll look at this later, but let me just try to bring out this before we. Now we'll be looking at EOMONTH, and that is we'll be looking at EOMONTH function, EOMONTH function, and we're looking at year function as well, year function and day function. These are the three we'll be looking at today. Now this EOMONTH, in our financial modeling, after your assumption, everything, you will need to calculate it based on month, because in some client can just tell us that, okay, I want to be selling bread, I want to, at least every month I want to be selling 1,000 pieces of bread. So how can we calculate it? Is by us setting up a calculation note, a schedule, and then this calculation schedule we contains month month by month, because sometimes we need to check in that. So that's why we need to calculate this. So we start with EOMONTH, and in our EO, we know that we have a start period or period start period, and we have end of the period. So start period, we have, let's just start January 2020. Now this particular, I put this in this color because the user can decide to change it. So it's an input of cell. So also I have a we also discussed about cell style in our videos that we'll be sharing soon. All right, so we have 1st January 2020. Now this particular is in this form because the users or the company or the manual can decide to change it. Okay, I want it to be in 2021 instead of 2020. So now to get our EOMONTH, that is EOMONTH of the serious date, start date, with the month. Maybe you want it like 1 month ahead. Just put 1 month ahead, and you now have what? That is end of the February, end of that a month to the month provided. Now, what of if you want it to be like, just okay, you want it just 2 months ahead, 2 months ahead, 2 months, that is March. You can all see, or we want it like maybe a month before the provided date, that is December 2019. But for the use of modeling, we have what? The same month is 30th. So now to get this, now we now have this end of this month plus 1. That is what? February. Now to get this, just your shift and just Control R. Control R is copy to Control R will copy to the right. So now to do this, just highlight it together and you press your shift and your left arrow to copy it as phone, because it will make your work fast. So instead of doing it one after the other, so just do it based on the years. No, it's 5 years. Normally, any financial model is 5 years. It's 5 years. It's 5 years. But for this, for the use of this video, I'll just do 2 years. Just use 2 years. So Control R. So you can see 2 years, 2020 and 2021. So this particular month will help us calculate and to know our either the goods, the product the client will be selling. It may be bread. Let's just take bread as example now. Maybe the client said, okay, I want to be selling like at least 20,000 bread every month. So we can only use month model to calculate and get our exact formation for the year. So now let's go to year function. I'm just trying to do this, although I could have started with year, but let's just now this year function now is just the same thing with the same thing. So how do we start that? How do we start that? The year function, sometimes we need to the year function return the year portion of date as 4 digits, so, and it is useful for extracting the years from the date to analyze trend, to compare the data across different years, and also it's used for to perform any year to year, year over year calculation, and also it will help us to know if there's changes, if there's maybe okay in 2021 we want to know if there's tax, if there's increase in inflation, increase in tax, something like that. So, or if you are doing like our metric and the client said, okay, I want my sales will increase after first year. So all these things are things that we put in place. And how do we get that? You just your equal to sign, and then here we have this, and it says serial number 2020. You can see. So just move it across. This 2020, 2021, and just Control R. You can see. So this particular, this is the end of 2021. I mean 2021. So at this 2021, 2020, at this time, this 2021, for any changes in our sales, in anything given, assumption, any scenario given by the client or by the management, we take effect immediately after December 2020. So now we have what we call months. Okay, we want to know the month. Okay, if we are calculating anything, so we need the month function. Okay, we want to know the month, which month, which year, something like that. So now for this particular one, now we have month serial number, just this, and this is month 1. So month 2, like that, just spread it up. That is, you can see. So that is at this time now, you can see month 12, month 1. So if you are doing a calculation, this is what we'll be using to link up our calculation. Now sometimes you can just do month in test. Maybe you don't want one, you just want it in, so just equal to test this value, and then your month format. So okay, I'll set this one up later. Although majorly this particular is not really used, because what we need is number. What we need is numbers. So all right, so we have to calculate our what is called let's calculate our day. Okay, how many days do we have in the month, days do we have in the year? So what can we start with? We just start, okay, our date. Now this our date now is is used to is to return the day of the month from a date as a number between what 1 to 31. Right, Mr. All right. So and this particular month is useful for analyzing trend based on day of the month, calculating the number of days between 2 days. Maybe for example, calculating your salary and based on the timing and shift of the salary, etc. So it depends on the scenario, on the assumption given by the client or by the management. So we have this 31 days. So moving, we have this particular information. So that is um 31, 30, 30. So looking at this now, date here is 31, 29, 31, 30, 31, 30, 31, 31. So these are the major thing we need to calculate our in our calculation schedule. So having it maybe after you want to have everything, so these are the things we use in our calculation model. So in our next videos, I will share how we can calculate our quarter, based quarterly function. So to have a quarterly function and other function as well we discuss. Thanks so much for your time.